Hello everyone, my name is Fatima. Welcome to my first tutorial on object-oriented programming. Today we're going to be talking about inheritance. So, inheritance is the capability of a class to derive properties and characteristics from other classes. So, you have a subclass, which is a class that inherits its properties from another class, and you have a superclass whose properties are inherited by other classes. So there are 5 kinds that we're going to be learning about. We have the single inheritance, multiple, multi-level. We also have hierarchical, and we also have the last one, hybrid. So first we're going to be talking about single inheritance. Single inheritance means that a class can only inherit from one base class. So we're gonna have an example. We're gonna create a base class called vehicle. Then we're gonna set the access mode to public. Let's create vehicle. And we're just gonna have this print out. This is a vehicle. Now we're going to create a subclass, and we're going to call this subclass car. And we're going to call on the base class. Basically, we're going to inherit. Once we're done with that, we can get started on our main program. So in main, now we're going to create an object calling on the class car. And the name of the object would be just object. And we'll have this return to 0. Save and compile and run. The output is this is a vehicle, which means that the class car was successfully able to inherit the content from the class vehicle. Now for multiple inheritance, it is basically a feature where a class can inherit from more than one class. So basically a subclass inheriting from more than one base class. So in this example, we have our subclass, class car, and we have our base class, class vehicle. So what we're going to do, we're going to create another base class, and we're going to call it 4-wheeler. We're going to make it public. And basically the content of this is going to be similar to the first base class. We're just going to print out this is a 4-wheeler. And all we have to do in our subclass, we're just going to simply add a comma and call on the class. Save, compile, and run. And the output would show this is a full 4-wheeler right under the first output, meaning that the subclass car was able to successfully inherit the content from both the base classes. Next is multi-level inheritance. So in this type of inheritance, a derived class is created from another derived class. So in this example, we have our 2 base classes and our subclass. So what we're going to do next is simply derive a base class by adding this piece of code, vehicle. And instead of this is a 4-wheeler, instead we're going to type objects with 4 wheels are vehicles. Done. And instead of just deriving from 2 of these, we're just gonna derive from 4-wheeler. and we're gonna create our car class. And we're gonna print out car has 4 wheels. Save that, compile and run. Oops. I forgot colon. Compile and run. And there we have it. This is a vehicle. Objects with 4 wheels are vehicles. Car has 4 wheels. So basically that is a good example for multi-level inheritance. For hierarchical inheritance, so in this type of inheritance, more than one subclass is inherited from a single base class. So for example, more than one derived class is created from a single base class. So in this same example, I just deleted everything else. So we have our first base class. So for her hierarchical, we can create another subclass. So first, we're gonna create another subclass and just call it car, and we're gonna inherit from the vehicle class, vehicle base class. Next, we're gonna create another subclass and we're gonna call it bus, and it will also inherit from the vehicle subclass, from the vehicle base class. And all we have to do next is just create another object for bus. Call that object 1. Save that, compile and run. And here we have, this is a vehicle and this is a vehicle, which means that the two subclasses were able to successfully inherit from the vehicle base class. So for the last inheritance, we have hybrid, or better known as virtual inheritance. So hybrid inheritance is implemented by combining more than one type of inheritance. So for example, combining hierarchical with multiple, multi-level with hierarchical, and so on. So here, let's just create another base class. Let's try to combine a different type of inheritance. So let's just make a fair class. And we're gonna call this just fair. It's like fair. Next, we're just gonna print out fair of this vehicle. Combine. And that's that. We have 2 base class and 2 subclass. And instead of just having car object, let's just remove that, and we're just gonna keep bus object 1 because we only want bus object since it's the only one inheriting fair. Save this and let's compile this and run. What's colon again? Compile and run, and you have, this is a vehicle, fair of this vehicle. So there you have it, a hybrid where you combine 2 different types or even more types of inheritance. Thank you for watching.